YouTube. Happy Saturday. It is a happy Saturday, actually. I'm about an hour and change from home, which is nice. But I did want to try to make a funny video going into the Memorial Day weekend here, just because this idea struck me as funny. And I'm going to try to make my trucking conspiracy theory satire videos a thing because, well, why not? If I can bring some laughter and some joy to at least one viewer, my job is done, and I will be happy with that. So anyway, what is this trucking conspiracy theory? I will tell you. The mega carriers, along with the FMCSA, quietly, and the American Trucking Association, and the variety of manufacturers of heavy trucks are pressing for an increase in autonomous vehicles, as well as eventually fully autonomous trucking, at the behest not of safety organizations or people truly concerned about safety on the road around and in the vicinity of and operations of heavy trucks, but because the American trucker, more accurately the male American trucker, is one of the least controlled and least governed and possibly least medicated persons in the world. So they're trying to get the human equation element out of the cab of the truck in order to put those people onto Big Pharma's roster of customers, meaning medicating for everything from sleeping to eating to pooping to whatever. And because most American truck drivers have to be very careful about how much of what medication they are taking in order to maintain the medical certification to drive a commercial semi-truck, there's not a lot of room for Big Pharma to get into our wallets and also our bodies. So it's actually Big Pharma pressing for autonomous driving in order to put these people out of work and get them onto government dependency and thus government medication so that they can just continue to quietly rule the world in that respect. And why in the world am I spouting this satirical conspiracy theory? I will tell you why. I was just getting my truck's oil changed at the Love's there in Rochelle, because I'm on a 15,000-ish mile cycle with this truck. I try to be in that cycle with everything. Every 15,000 miles, at least do an oil change. Every 30,000 miles, full PM service. And this cycle, it was the 15,000 mile oil change, and I kind of missed it by almost 2,000 miles, but whatever, big deal. It wasn't like I missed it by 10,000 miles, so I got that going for me. But anyway, so as I'm waiting for the techs to finish up the oil and lube service, I was, browsing on Hinge to see what options might be good to swipe right on, and not a one option that I see, but this one profile from some rather, I will just be polite, rather interesting specimen from the Chicago area. One of her taglines was, "I'll brag about you to my friends if you have a therapist." And I'm thinking to myself, all right, why? Oh, but you gotta work on yourself and get in touch with your feelings. You don't care about my feelings. All you want is to make sure I'm feminized so you can feel better about yourself when you eventually leave me, because you're leaving a woman, not a man. That's how I look at it. It's like, all right, you want me to have a therapist so that you know I'm medicated and in touch with someone about my feelings, so that you can say, oh, he's working on himself. He's making himself a better person. Really what you want is, you want me to be with a therapist, or want me to have a therapist so that you can have some other way of controlling who I am as a person, who I am emotionally, how I emote, when I emote, and how those emotions end up benefiting you as a foolish woman. And you also want to make sure I'm medicated. It's like, get off your high horse. At this point, I am convinced that the entire industry for therapy has ballooned out of people who legitimately needed some sort of psychological or psychiatric or both help working through a mental problem. It's now become an excuse for women and men alike to just say, oh, I have this problem, I'm going to therapy about it. It's like, whatever happened to just putting on your big girl or big boy panties and just dealing with it? I mean, most of the world's problems on an individual basis can be dealt with by an individual. You don't need some sort of outsourced medical practitioner to assist you in a process. It's just be disciplined. If you're hurting yourself, figure out why you're hurting yourself, and if you figure out why, then you stop doing that thing that causes you to hurt yourself, and then you go from there. Yeah, I know I'm grossly oversimplifying things, but at the same time, there are people who legitimately need therapy, and if you are someone who legitimately needs therapy, please understand, I'm not trying to talk down to you or belittle your condition or your issue. What I am saying is that there are a lot of folks who are in therapy who don't need to be in therapy. They just want attention for being in therapy. And I would therefore contend that because they want attention for being in therapy, they are diluting the quality of service that people who legitimately need therapy are getting, because some Karen who didn't get laid by some dude in Iceland has to come cry about her feelings and how she feels inadequate, when in reality she's just ugly and needs to lose 50 pounds. And again, I'm grossly oversimplifying, but still, it's like, boggles the mind that women want men to be in therapy, but they still want men to be masculine and manly. It's like, if you go to therapy, you're not going to be a manly man. You're going to be told to dial it back because you're toxic. You're going to be told to throttle back your actual masculine presence because it may be dangerous or offensive or triggering to some foolish woman who believes that you being put into a tiny little box with, you know, the female estrus symbol under the chromosome symbol for women on there, so they can feel better about themselves. Like, no. That dilutes and negates who you are as a person. Like, if you are a man, be a man. If a woman will not appreciate you for being a man, replace her. Done deal. Just, if someone's trying to make you into something that you are not, and they're not doing it because you legitimately need help. Like, if you're an alcoholic and someone's trying to get you to stop drinking, that's fair. You should listen to them. But if you're just a regular blue-collar guy and some chick is trying to tell you not to be who you are when you've got a good job, you make good money, you're providing a good living, but you're just not fitting into whatever box that she wants you in, there's your problem right there. Find a new chick. So it's a combination of satirical conspiracy theory mixed with my assessment of life with therapy, along with some probably poor life advice in some respects. Relationships are all about compromise, and sometimes that's going to require an element of your personality to change. But if you're the only one changing, that's an imbalance, that's a problem. Because if you're going to change, she better change. If you're going to make a sacrifice, she better sacrifice. If you're going to make a commitment to a goal, she better make a commitment to that, to a goal of her own, or support you in your pursuit of that goal. Whatever's going to maintain, shall we say, equity from both parties in the relationship. And I suppose that's a big part of why I'm still very much single, is because I will absolutely not take any of that crap from a woman. You want to come into my life and dictate who I am and what I do and how I do it? No. Hit the bricks, chick. I do not have time for your crap. I have a business to run and a life to live. I am not going to bend the knee to your feminist ideology nonsense that's going to dilute, negate, and destroy who I am as a man. And if you don't like that, clearly, I am not the man for you. And with that being said, YouTube, thank you so much for listening to my rant, and I will see you down the road.